So I was one of the two sources which were kind of under embargo for a while and basically knew about the news before it was announced. And I had to keep things kind of secret, and I knew about it for a while. But what they did is they spoke to companies as well. They tried to make sure enough companies are standing behind it when they announce it. So they brought Red Hat and Ubuntu and GNOME Foundation, and they ensured that all these things will say, well, we support this project. But one of the reasons they moved, you have to remember, you said something about plugins and independence, but that's not really the main reason. The main reason they moved is because of copyright assignments. And that's an issue they had back in the days of Sun. They don't want to give their work in the copyright sense to a different company, especially a company like Oracle. So this is why I kind of agreed, well, I could trust Sun, but I cannot trust Oracle with copyrights all that much.
I do wonder, actually, what Oracle must be thinking, what the board of Oracle must be thinking. They've bought, just as looking at the reactions to things, they've bought Sun, and they've got all these things. I mean, Sun have done some good stuff. They've got Java, they've got OpenOffice, MySQL, got various things. And then as soon as they buy, the presumption is the value of these projects is in the branding, first of all, the name, all the links and the documentation and the community and the install base and the people. A lot of it is free work done by volunteers who have contributed to MySQL and Java and whatever. So, and then as soon as Oracle get their hands on it and they mishandle it and they don't announce any firm promises to the people that have poured their heart and soul into these projects, that they fork. You know, MariaDB is Monty's trying to get people to switch to that instead of staying with MySQL. There's Postgres, which is apparently an excellent database as well. And then now you've got one of the other jewels in the crown, which is OpenOffice. And a few people have, well, figuratively speaking, a few people have said, we're going to fork this and we're going to go and do our own thing in LibreOffice. And Oracle's probably thinking, yeah, you go for it. You take a handful of people with you. It's no biggie. It's no problem. And then they wake up in the morning and they see all these tech news reports, and there's a who's who of different companies all saying, screw Oracle, we're going with LibreOffice. I mean, I would love to be a fly in the wall to watch Oracle, having spent all this money on Sun and all the different trademarks and communities and projects that Sun own, and because of Oracle's handling of them, they're just basically becoming devalued to nothing as they're forked, and as all the community, all the goodwill and all the momentum just shunts onto a different project. It's as if nothing's ever happened.
I think they wanted patents, and especially things to do with hardware, because the crown jewel of Oracle is selling lots of databases, and what they want to have is this really big racks full of redundancy and everything for the database. And Sun has lots of patents around it. And the impression I got was that Oracle basically wanted to take away from IBM this possibility of having all these data center things and ensuring IBM doesn't get this so-called IP and those patents and everything, which will enable them to take from Oracle maybe like tens of billions of dollars worth of market. So to spend on Sun something like $7 billion to try and produce better processors which are optimized for the database is what they try to achieve. But also they got this baggage of open source projects which they weren't quite so sure they want to put money in. I think a good sentence from what's his name? The guy who made Java. What's his last name? Gosling. Yeah, he said something like in Oracle, the project doesn't need to make sense; it needs to make money. So if it makes sense for Oracle to have Java or to have the control of these predominant, very important framework and language and everything, if it makes lots of sense, but it doesn't make much money just yet, then they will change the way they work on it, or they'll just start to threaten or to scare people away from it by doing lawsuits against Android. That's basically his message about how Oracle views the code. It needs to make money, otherwise it goes. And he threw away lots of projects. And Simon Phipps, who used to be the main open source guy in Sun, he joined this company called Rockforge, which is taking some of these old projects and trying to turn them into a part of a business, taking those supposed abandoned pieces of code and turning them into live projects again.
Just on a quick point, there might be a divergence, but does anyone know what's happened to Ian Murdoch? What he's doing now? Because...
I've been asking this in Identica. I got an answer eventually from a friend of his. It turns out he's working very busy. He's very busy doing something, but it's kept secret now. And he doesn't work with Oracle, so he never announced leaving Oracle or Sun, but he doesn't work there. He's quietly working on some project, so it probably
that was just one that sort of slipped past, and I thought, well, it was a surprise that he turned up working for Sun, then doing Open Solaris, which never really sort of took off in the way that they hoped. And then I thought, well, I've never heard of him, heard what he's done. Did he go to Oracle or did he jump ship?
I'm not sure if he worked. I'm not sure if he quit Sun or if he quit Oracle, because nobody said anything. It was completely quiet. And you'd think that the founder of Debian, when he doesn't make a change, like when he joined Sun, you will hear something about it in the news, but it was completely quiet.
Right. Well, we haven't... Oh, sorry.
I have quite a few more things to go through. I know you have one more headline as well.
I don't know whether they are. It wasn't of particular importance, actually. It was just a quick bit of news. So you go ahead with your...
I can go very... Do you want to go quickly through the things to try and... Because one of the things I wanted to mention, because we mentioned forks, is the fork of Mandriva. I know you'd think that Mandriva died, but it hasn't. Obviously, it was sold to a company. And there will be an annual release, probably especially for corporate customers who installed Mandriva. There will be Mandriva 2010.2, probably this year, I think on the 23rd of December, just before Christmas. And it's actually going to be two versions, because the alpha version of the fork of Mandriva is going to come out quite soon, if the promise has been kept. I have quite a few more headlines I want to go through, just to ensure the listeners get all the major news from the past 2 days since the previous podcast, but maybe you have something to go with first.
You go with them, Roy. And then obviously we can comment if there's anything we want to pipe up about for each of the titles.
I just found a very interesting article about national Linux distributions, because what you find now is you have lots of news still about Russia doing a national operating system, but we aren't quite so sure what it is yet. It could be Alt Linux, which has quite a few stories to tell about Microsoft and what Microsoft did to try and discourage the adoption of Linux firstly in schools in Russia. But that's an interesting story in general about the notion of trying to create a national operating system controlled by the country to serve the country. Then we have the very, very major news which we haven't spoken about, and that's about supercomputers, because the numbers have come out again from top 500. This is I'm not sure if there is a company behind it, but it's more of a very famous site and server and service that keeps track of servers that are the world's top computers. And Linux is still the top of the list, with now it's 91% of the machines, the top 500 machines in the world. And it seems like Linux just keeps increasing the share. If you include virtualization, it probably has close to like 95% of the world's supercomputers now. So you just wonder if just one day you'll have like 99% just Linux machines running on all these I cannot really call them computers, but it's more of a cluster.
Clusters, yeah.
Yeah, and the major news that come out of this is to do with China being the top computer.
That's what happens when you get one disk that one ISO that you can download and install on lots of computers. You can cluster them. It doesn't cost you any more money.
Yeah, in this case they say I have one headline which says which is China ride GPUs to world domination, and that's one of the nice. I think Nvidia doesn't deliver the well, they don't give you the free driver